Hey everybody, welcome to the channel and welcome to the Sinai Map, an early access preview that I've been granted by OnReTech and Eagle Dynamics, and I'm very thankful for this opportunity to show off this great looking map. I showed it off on stream earlier, and I want to just share the top 5 things that I love about this map after just spending a few minutes taking a look. Enjoy. Number 1 is the greenery. Now, I expected with a map of this region that we would see just a lot more desert, and maybe that's just a hit on me and not understanding what things look like in the Nile particularly, but there is a ton of greenery, and I know some people in the stream were commenting as well that they expected just a lot more brown. There is a ton of greenery and a lot of variety of that greenery as we move down the Nile River, and it's very good looking. You can see a lot of canals. You can see the coastline where the greenery kind of extends from. You can see out as it transitions into the desert. Just a lot of places to fly around and hide, and definitely not just brown. Number 2, SAM sites. I think this is a great addition to the F10 map for the map because it shows these templated SAM sites, and even someone on stream went into Google Maps and looked at one of these sites and saw that actually something there. So if you're anything like me, you sometimes struggle when you're mission making and deciding, well, where do I need to put a SAM site to protect this city or what's realistic? Well, they've done that work for us, so you can see on the map these, I guess, realistic or pulled from real imagery SAM sites. And then once you go into the map or into the actual terrain, you can actually see these SAM sites built out. So you can just plug and play your units, drop them into those spots, and you're ready to go. Same thing with some of these helipads. You'll see some helipads sprinkled across the map, and you can zoom in and see that these helipads are there for your enjoyment. The third thing I like, and I can't stress this one enough, is completeness. We spent a good hour on stream, and I've spent some time after that just kind of zipping around looking at things. I have yet to find a place on this map that was not complete. Now, if you're familiar with the Persian Gulf map or the early parts of the South Atlantic map, you know that there are parts that were essentially two-dimensional. It's just an image that you could see from the sky, and that's not a big deal if you're flying fighters up at 20,000-30,000 feet. But if you're down low as a helicopter guy, you want to have as many buildings and trees and everything down on the ground populated. And like I said, I've been all over this map, and from what I can tell, it is 100% complete from a standpoint of actually having three-dimensional items on the map. So that is a great thing to see, and super excited to see that further develop. Number 4, the city of Cairo. I cannot express how awestruck I was the first time I saw that, and if you were on the stream, you saw just how vast the city is. And I'm not sure, I haven't compared, but I don't believe we have another city on any DCS map that's quite this size. I could be wrong about that, but I can't think of any that are. This thing is absolutely huge. It is just sprawling across the landscape, and you've got, of course, the pyramids and the Sphinx and soccer stadiums and some great looking buildings, and it is just a fantastic view just flying around in the city, and it's gonna provide some really great scenery for flying around. And that leads us into the last point, which is variety. Now, if you've been playing DCS for a long time, you've kind of seen a lot of the same buildings, and I think we've seen with the last few maps that have come out a little bit more variety in buildings. But you would think with something as big as Cairo or Alexandria or Tel Aviv that you would just see a lot of the same old after a while. And granted, you will see a lot of the same factories and plants, but typically speaking, just looking out at the city, it is very easy to just kind of fall into the trap that you are looking at a real city. There's a lot of variety in the buildings. Granted, you're going to find some places where one building is right next to another building that looks the exact same. Those things are going to happen, and granted, in real life that happens as well. But just looking out at the map, at the cities, there's just so much variety in the buildings that it really just kind of tricks the brain into thinking that you're not necessarily just playing a video game, but you are definitely playing with a handcrafted map. And I could tell just from looking at it and the way that it's designed, the way it's put together, that a ton of work and a whole lot of love has gone into building this map. So it is fantastic. Now, of course, the big question is going to be, what's it going to do to my computer? I have not played with it enough to test it to see how it's going to be. Is it going to be a frame hog? Of course, we just got the multi-threading, which I have to imagine these things kind of came out in conjunction with one another, or they're working together. But this map will probably test the limits of your system. I'm just guessing when I say that. I'm looking at the Mariana's map and thinking about how rough it was on basic systems when it came out. So I expect that there might be some issues here if you're running an older computer. I'm running a 2080, so I'm not a power hog myself when it comes to graphics. As far as just moving around and the F11 free camera, I've seen no issues with it. I've got my graphics turned up fairly high, so hopefully as it continues to develop, it'll get optimized, and of course hopefully this multi-threading that Eagle Dynamics is providing us for DCS World will also mitigate any of those hiccups. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this first look at the map, and of course we'll be doing some more with it as well as other channels, I'm sure, on YouTube, and hopefully this will be out for everyone to take a look at real soon. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.